Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the video today we're going to be making a light flicker effect in Unity. I'm going to go over the script itself, how it works, and how it can be used across scenes. So let's get right into it. So I threw together a little scene here of a campfire in a forest, and it has two light sources. One sort of acting as the embers, and the other one illuminating over the other objects in the scene. So once you have your lights in the scene, you're going to need to make a script. This script is going to be used on every light that you'd like to add a light flicker effect to. I'm going to name mine Light Flicker. Once you've finished creating your script, you're going to apply it to any light in the scene that needs a light flicker effect. So I'm going to add it onto both of the lights. Now we're going to open up in Visual Studio and get started on the programming. So there are going to be 6 variables that we're using in our program. We have flicker intensity, which is how intense the flickers are. I think you could probably guess that much. We have flickers per second, which is the number of flickers per second. And then concluding the public variables, we have speed randomness, which randomizes the number of flickers per second. We also have 3 private variables. For starters, we have time, which is the amount of time that has passed since we started our program. Then we have starting intensity. I wanted to save the intensity of our lights in the memory so that we could access it later. Finally, we obviously have the light, just so that we can access its intensity. In our start function, there are 2 lines. The first one initializes the light, and the second line sets the starting intensity to light's intensity. There are also 2 lines in our update function. On the first line, we increment time by time.delta_time. Time.delta_time is the amount of time that has passed since the previous frame. Now, if you have 60 frames per second, that's going to amount to about 0.1666. We're going to multiply this by a set amount between 1 minus negative speed randomness and 1 minus speed randomness. This is just going to randomize the flickers and make them inconsistent. We have to multiply it by math.pi just to make the flickers consistent with the sine function that we're using. Otherwise, they would be much too slow. On the final line, we set light intensity to the starting intensity plus our flicker function here, using a sine function. And then we multiply the sine function by flicker intensity. If you've never heard of a sine wave, it's pretty much a smooth wave. And we're going to use the sine function to change the intensity of our light. That concludes the programming portion of this video. Now let's go test out the program. Alright, and now that we've finished programming our script and applied it to the lights, and it's time to give our program a run. Now I've changed up the variables from the default a little bit, because my lights have different intensities. With that out of the way, let's go test out our program. Now as you can see, it's very smooth, and we can randomize it if we'd like. If I give them a very high randomness value, it will be a lot more sporadic and random. This might be useful for a fluorescent light, but I think I'll keep the smooth values for our campfire. Looks like that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again in another video.